Travis Mills and Ronnie Jones host Help, I'm in a Secret Relationship, premiering April 26th on MTV. Thank you both so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Travis, let's go ahead and talk. Let's talk a little bit about the premise of the series and what we're going to see.
I mean, it's pretty much in the title. These are people who are in relationships that feel like they are being kept a secret. They haven't met their partner's family. They haven't met their friends. They've never been posted on social media. And they're having a very different experience in this relationship than their partner. Obviously, they're at their wits' end. They've tried everything that they can think of, and they reach out to Ronnie and I, and we show up and try to get them answers.
And Ronnie, for someone who worked at Homeland Security and now, to this show, what's something that you always kind of take away as like, this doesn't seem right, or something is a little off about the situation?
I think it's just like we just experience a lot of gaslighting, right? These people will be in a situation for 3 years. And at first the excuses are logical. And then it's just like, oh, well, I'm still trying to figure things out. And it's like, we're on year 4 and I have yet to meet a friend, like at the very least a friend. So I think my feelers go up when it's just that in general. I think the premise itself is just one big red flag. And I've experienced, being hidden before, and it's a terrible feeling. And, we approach this with a lot of care on both sides. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Obviously, you never know when you're going to meet somebody in your life, and you may be in the process of sorting things out with an ex. You may be trying to date several people at a certain time. You may not be out to your family. There may be many different situations as to why someone may be hidden. I guess, Travis, let's go ahead and start as far as, some of those red flags that are, almost deal breakers for people, and some where it's just like someone's being a little paranoid, but this is kind of like, all right, this is a big red flag right here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, for a lot of these cases that Ronnie and I experienced, it's oftentimes the person who's reaching out to us, they want to be in that perfect relationship so bad that they will ignore everything that's wrong with it. Because, I mean, when we walk in and they tell us everything, it's like, well, didn't you ever have a problem with this? Haven't you brought this up? And oftentimes they have, but like Ronnie said, there's gaslighting, there's excuses, there's manipulation, there's lies. And so it's kind of us trying to give them the tools to get to the bottom of it, right? And oftentimes you would be surprised how hard it is for people who have been together for 2, 3, 4, 5 years to just sit down face to face and have an honest conversation. It's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
It's pretty fascinating, too, because to piggyback off of that, people will give us lying is a deal breaker for me. And it's just like, they've been lying this whole time. So is that truly a deal breaker? Why are you still here when there has been clear lies being told, and you are just not involved with this person's life? So it's interesting to see what the deal breakers are, and if those are really deal breakers, and if they remain together.
Something else that kind of falls into this is the technology and how that fits into, whether it's a phone call, whether it is liking someone else's posts on social media. Let's talk a little bit about that role. Ronnie, let's go ahead and start with you.
Yeah, I think the social media aspect of it all, and and to a greater extent, the technology aspect has just made, I guess, keeping people a secret either that much more difficult or either that much more egregious. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like we are such online people now, and the fact that if you are being hidden from social media, it's almost even more of a gut punch. It's like you share your life with the world and you say you love me, and yet you will not share me. So it's a level of even more heartbreak, especially if you're not communicating that. And, we do deep dives of, various social media platforms, trying to get to the bottom of everything, reaching out to friends and family through social media, really doing some digging. So, we find some stuff out.
As far as baggage goes, because sometimes a situation could be read the wrong way. Let's give everybody, the benefit of the doubt, where someone may have had a previous bad experience with somebody taking a phone call from somebody, or hanging out with an ex, or liking other people's posts. You never know, you might have that baggage on your own. What's that period of that's not the situation. I'm carrying baggage from a previous relationship or in my own life, and where I need to trust the other person. Is there a kind of a fine line as far as like when you should trust somebody, or should that just be a conversation that you have early on and not let it go years without having that in your mind?
I mean, I think to your point, communication is number one, right? When you start dating someone, you should be on the same page about wants, needs, how they can make you feel respected and secure in the relationship. And you'd be surprised how with these cases, that conversation probably never happens until Ronnie and I show up with cameras and everyone's kind of sitting down.
Well, what about for you, Ronnie?
I just think that there's a level of, like Travis said, it's all about communication at the end of the day. And the fact that these conversations haven't been had in 3-4 years, people are trying to get married on this show. People are trying to move in, trying to make big life decisions. We've met so many people that are like, this person is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. I want to start a family. And it's yet, the boundaries have not been established, ways of communication have not been established. And it's just fascinating to see, how things end up. There's been couples where we're like, I don't know if this. I don't know if it's gonna work out, but good luck.
And then really quickly before we go, Ronnie, I do want to ask, as far as the politician, 3 actors that I think of, Ben Platt, Gwyneth Paltrow, Bette Midler, all have relationships where they either have kept parts of it private, but it's not necessarily a secret. And, everyone, as far as a form of sharing, what did you learn about relationships from working with, especially those 3?
Well, first of all, I mean, all of those people are just icons. And then I'm just looking at them like, hello. But I think that, there's a level of privacy that is warranted, especially if you're in the public eye. People sometimes feel entitled to your relationship. You want to protect that. But, we know that Bette Midler's married. We know that Gwyneth Paltrow is married. We know that Ben is dating someone. Like, these people are not keeping their partners a secret. They are protecting their relationship, but we know about them. And it's their right to have that secrecy. And I'm sure that they've communicated that to their partners, and that's the key.
That is the key right there. Well, go ahead and watch Help, I'm in a Secret Relationship. April 26th on MTV is when it premieres. Ronnie, Travis, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.